Hello. Today we are in informational text. We're going to look at essential question number 1, how do readers know what to believe? Essential question number 4, what is informational text really about? And essential question number 5, how does interaction with the text provoke thinking and response? We're in Magic in the Brain, which is what you read and used your reading strategies for on Friday and Thursday this week. And today we're going to close read a couple paragraphs from it. For this close read, we are looking at the central idea as well as we're looking at the structure of the text. As we do so, we are going to cite text evidence as we read. Remember, close read is 3 different readings where we're looking closely back into the text for different things. For phase 1, I want you to read over the passage, focusing on what you think the central idea is for not only this section, but also for the passage as a whole. Because I gave a section that really highlights what one of the central ideas of the entire passage is. So as you find a sentence that you think helps to tie into what the central idea of Magic in the Brain was, I want you to discuss that and provide in your own words what the central idea is, and then cite that highlighted evidence in your response to support your answer. As you do that, you're going to be looking at essential question number 3, or learning target number 3, to determine 2 or more central ideas in the text. Remember, a text is going to always have multiple main points for why it was written. And the central idea is that big element that connects the whole text together. And so you want to think about, what is the main message? What is the main central idea of the text, Magic in the Brain? And that's what you'll be doing in phase 1, as well as learning target number 1, cite text evidence. Make sure you quote something from the passage to support your central idea. But I do want this central idea written in your own words and language. The quote is just supporting what you put into your own words as the main central idea of the text. In phase 2, you're going to read over the passage, looking again at the central idea, but this time we're going to look at how that central idea is communicated. How it's communicated is subtly different than what the central idea is. And that's something that we don't see in our fiction reading of the text, in our literary reading. Central idea, or when we look at theme, it's a little bit different when we look at how the theme is developed versus how the central idea is developed. Because when we looked at how the central idea is developed, mainly we're looking at text structure to help communicate that, which is slightly different. So we're going to look at, or learning target number 4, analyze how the central idea develops with specific claims over the course of the text. So we're looking at how the central idea develops. So sometimes we can focus on claims that help develop the central idea, which is what we talked about in the first 9 weeks. But now we're looking at how different features of the text actually help develop the central idea too. So you may want to add these new notes, because this is oftentimes how you're going to see this worded when you take assessments. The central idea is developed by maybe sharing stories or info about something, or citing statistics or evidence about a specific topic, maybe including details about a specific topic, or using descriptions of something, or maybe it's developed by comparing 2 different things or listing something. Notice how there's an ellipse at the end of these, which means you have to finish it off with something specific from the text. This part with the ellipse is when you are given choices for how the central idea is developed, you really want to focus in on what they put here, go back in the text and double check to make sure they actually use what they say they use for your answer choices, because sometimes they might not be found within it, and that's how you're going to be able to spot the correct versus the incorrect response. After we look at how the author develops the central idea, and we take some time to think about the best method in which we see done within these 2 paragraphs, we're going to focus on fully the text structure in our 3rd phase of reading. For our 3rd phase of reading, we're going to focus on learning target 19. And we're going to look at how does text structure develop the ideas presented in the passage. So in this specific case, we're going to look at the shaded box, the picture provided at the top, and how that shaded box really does connect to the rest of the passage in this given section, and how it really does help to develop the ideas, specifically a central idea that the author's communicating within this section. So as you answer this question, we are looking at learning target number 19 to analyze the structure the author uses to organize the text by major section of the text and how that major section really does help the author develop their idea. In this case, as I said, we're going to look at a specific thing that the author uses, and that specific thing is the use of the text box. Now, as you look over the question, remember, I want you to still highlight something for this, but I want you to highlight something you think connects to the information presented in the text box. And you're going to call that note structure as your margin note. I want you to really think about, how does the provided shaded box contribute to the ideas that you see in the passage? How are they connected? How does that box really help to emphasize the ideas communicated in the passage? So the shaded box uses, so what is some details does it use it? Does it use specific words? Does it use pictures? What does it use to really help contribute to that text? Maybe it does help contribute in one of the following ways. Maybe it explains something. Maybe it illustrates something. Maybe it convinces you of something. So I'm going to say to contribute by, and you can either pick explaining something or illustrating, providing, or showing. So start with this part here and then pick one of these choices, but make sure this ellipse shows you that you need to be specific after you make that idea from the box. So this is connecting the shaded box to the given section. And as we do that, again, we are looking at these specific learning targets to get better at informative writing. All these targets are based on the formative assessment you took last week. So go ahead and get started on your close reading of the text.